Hey, if you're looking to start a freight brokerage business, or maybe you already have a trucking business and you're looking to add freight brokerage to your existing business as a new arm of the business, then you've come to the right place, because we have built a financial projection template built specifically for freight brokerage startups and trucking and freight brokerage startups. And so I want to show you how to use this template. I'm going to link to the template in the description of the video below. And then I'm going to walk you through how to use it. But first of all, my name's Adam Hoeksema. I'm the co-founder of Projection Hub. And over the last decade, we've helped 50,000 entrepreneurs create financial projections for all sorts of different businesses. And specifically, we're going to look at today this freight brokerage financial model. And so I'm going to dive into the template and show you how it works. Okay, so first of all, I'm starting on the At a Glance tab here, and this is kind of the end of the process of creating projections. You're going to get a number of useful tables and graphs and charts that are going to be helpful to put in a business plan or in a pitch deck for an investor. And then you're also going to get a full 5-year cash flow summary, an income statement summary, and a balance sheet summary for 5 years. And you'll get the income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet summary by month for each of the 5 years as well. So you're going to get plenty of detail, all the detail you could really need in terms of a set of projections. So in order to get there, we have a little bit of work to do on the input side. So I'm going to start here on the input assumptions tab and kind of walk you through this. So this template is our trucking template. And so I am going to show you how to make this trucking template work for you if you only have a freight brokerage business, or if you have a trucking business as well as freight brokerage arm to your business. I'm going to show you how to do both. So I'm going to start by assuming that you've got an existing trucking business and you're going to add a freight brokerage arm to it, and that's what you want to model. I'm going to show you how to do that first. And then we'll kind of go backwards from there. So on the input assumptions page here, you can add different investors that you'd have, pick the start date of the projections. You can add fixed assets. So this would be leasehold improvements or buildings that you own or equipment that you own. And if you're doing, if you own trucks as well, you're going to put those down here in this section. And you can add trucks here. You can add them as either trucks that you've purchased by this drop down, so you can have them as purchased trucks or leased trucks. Now, if you have them, depending on what you select here, the model is going to kind of black out sections that of the template that you don't need to fill out. So if you've purchased it, then we need the purchase price of the truck. But obviously, if you're leasing the truck, you're not going to need that field. So that's why that's blacked out. And then you can pick which month you purchased or started the lease for that particular truck. And then if you financed the truck, so if you took a loan, let's say here we took so it was an $80,000 purchase price. Let's say we did a $50,000 loan to finance that. You can put that in there, 8% interest rate, repayment in 60 months. And so then here we don't need to do a monthly payment for the truck if you've added a loan, because it'll automatically calculate your loan payment, and so you don't need to put that in. Now, if you're leasing the truck, then you will need to put in what is the monthly lease payment here. So that's why that's showing up. Okay, and so then the next thing we want to look at down here is loans. So if you have loans other than the loans that you are using to purchase a truck, so maybe you got a loan for a building or something, or an SBA loan for working capital, you could put that down here. And finally, now we're going to jump over to our input revenue model. And so I've got some default data already put in here. So we're assuming that you're driving 5 days a week, and you're doing some dedicated routes and some spot freight, or just picking up loads off of load boards. And so you have the ability to add in assumptions like average revenue per mile, driver pay per mile, and then variable costs per mile. And you want to research these and make sure that all these are still relevant for you depending on your specific situation. And of course, gas prices are very, very volatile. So the fuel per mile, you really want to make sure that you have that as up to date as possible. And so then you can do the same thing, same assumptions for the loads that you're picking up on load boards. Put those assumptions in, and you will be able to show, okay, how much revenue are we doing from each type of driving. And then we've got the freight brokerage section down here, which is what I really wanted to focus on in this video. So we're going to say, okay, as an example, you've picked up let's say you've picked up a customer that has 10 loads per day for you. They could give you up to 10 loads per day, but you only have 3 trucks and you can't find more drivers. And but you don't want to leave that customer, those loads just sitting there for somebody else to get. And so what you say is, hey, I'll broker those loads out for you. So I'll take all 10 loads and I'll broker those out for you to find other drivers for you and just take care of your customer that way. And so let's say that's the case here, and we're saying, okay, we're going to have, in this case, I put in the number of loads of freight available to broker to drivers, and this is a monthly number. So right here, we're starting with 20 loads per month with a 15% annual growth rate. We're saying the average number of miles per brokered load is 1,000 miles. And the average rate per mile paid by the customer is $2.75. So you get the average value of a load at $2,750. And the total value of all the brokered loads, so that's the $2,750 times the number of loads that you're brokering, gives you $55,000. And now your revenue is just the brokerage commission that you get here, right? So you're not getting that full, the full $275 per mile. You're getting some percentage commission, and 15%. You see ranges from 12 up to 20% for a broker fee in the industry. And of course, it can really just depend on your specific situation. But we put in 15% here. So it'd be 15% of the total value here, which then gives you the $8,250 as a freight brokerage revenue for that first month. And so what we'll see then is on the income statement summary, you'll see your dedicated route revenue, your spot freight or load board revenue, and your freight brokerage revenue. I'm going to show you two more tabs real quick, and then we'll go back and show you how to fill this out if you only are doing brokering freight and you're not also driving. So if you have a trucking business where you're a carrier as well, you'll have expenses that are fixed expenses, but you also have per truck expenses, so certain expenses that you have for each truck that you own. And so you can select from these drop downs whether the expense is a fixed dollar amount or even a percentage of revenue. So some costs may be a percentage of revenue, and so you can select that as well. And then lastly here, we have an input salaries tab. And on this tab, what you want to make sure that you don't want to double count the drivers. So we've already put the driver pay in here, driver pay per mile, 46 cents. So we don't need to double count them and put them back in here as a salary position as well. So these would be more like your admin position, so a dispatcher or supervisor, or if you get big enough, you may have maintenance or accounting, other admin positions that you'd put in here. So once we've got all that done, we are back to the at a glance tab. You can see what that looks like. So I want to just hop back real quick now and show you, okay, let's say you're just doing the freight brokerage piece of the business. What you'd want to do is zero these things out, and that may be all you need to do right there. Just put a zero up top. Yep, I think that's all you'll need to do. And now it's zeroed out that revenue. So basically what we're saying is, hey, we have 0 days per week that we're driving. And then if you want to hide sections, what you can do is highlight a section here, highlight everything other than the freight brokerage, and then right click and click hide. And now you'll see just a freight brokerage section. Now it doesn't delete it, and you won't want to delete things in the model. You just want to hide them. And so the other thing you'll want to do here is hide these two columns here. See those are now zeroed out. And so you'll just want to hide them because they're not relevant to you. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about that, we're available. So reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com, and we'd be happy to help you with the template, help you fill it out, give you some feedback on it, and do our best to help you get what you need. So there you have it. That is our trucking and freight brokerage startup projection template. So best of luck to you as you start your business. Thanks.